Hello, I hope you're all okay and everybody is well and happy and you've learned stuff and you've had a good time with your mates and you've enjoyed a little bit of nice weather today. It was a bit rainy over the weekend. I'm going to read you a story today that links to our Global Goals project. Only this one is about a boy in Malawi. I've used this book in assembly before, so you might recognize it. But even though I'm repeating myself, it kind of feels like it's important at the moment because all of the work that you've done about sustainable development goals, about our global goals, about the area around the Black Greyhound pub, there's lots of things like this. You've been creative and you've thought and you've taken your knowledge of global goals of sustainability and what our community needs, and you've done exactly what the boy in the story did. So I thought I'd share it with you because you're pretty similar in this. So let's have a read of our story. And while you read, see how you think you have been similar. Not in the things that you've done, but in the way that you've tackled a problem. Okay, so the boy who harnessed the wind. In a small village in Malawi where people had no money for lights, nightfall came quickly and hurried poor farmers to bed. But for William, the darkness was best for dreaming. He dreamed of building things and taking them apart, like the trucks with bottle cap wheels parked under his bed, and pieces of radios that he'd crack open and wonder, if I can hear the music, then where is the band? His grandpa's tales of magic also whispered in the pitch black of his room. Witch planes passed through the window, while ghost dancers twirled around the room as if 100 men were inside their bodies. All sorts of incredible dreams. At dawn in the fields, William scanned the maize rows for magical beings, then wondered as a truck rumbled past. How does its engine make it go? Pay attention to where you throw that hoe, his father shouted. You'll cut off your foot. Just a point here at dawn in the fields. So as the sun comes up, William, who is quite possibly the same age as you, is already up and weeding plants in the fields. Imagine that for those people who I spoke to last week saying they couldn't get up before 8:30. For all its power over dancers and flying things, magic couldn't bring the rain. Without water, the sun rose angry each morning and scorched the fields, turning the maize into dust. Without food, Malawi began to starve. Soon William's father gathered the children and said, from now on, we eat only one meal per day. Make it last. In the evenings, they sat around the lantern and ate their handful, watching hungry people pass like spirits along the roads. Imagine one meal a day. It's not good, is it? And people live like this all the time. And they're having to look after their children, and they've got their one meal. Money also disappeared with the rain. Pipani, his father said, I'm sorry, you will have to drop out of school. Now William stood on the road and watched the lucky students pass, alone with the monster in his belly and the lump in his throat. And for weeks he sulked under the mango tree until he remembered the library down the road, a gift from the Americans. Some lucky people got to go to school and some weren't allowed to learn. They didn't have the money to send him to school. He found science books filled with brilliant pictures. With his English dictionary close by, William put together how engines moved those big trucks and how radios pulled their music from the sky. But the greatest picture of all was a machine taller than the tallest tree, with blades like a fan, a giant pinwheel, something to catch magic. Slowly, he built the sentence, windmills can produce electricity and pump water. He closed his eyes and saw a windmill outside his home, pulling electricity from the breeze and bringing light to the dark valley. Wow, it's quite a dream. He saw the machine drawing cool water from the ground, sending it gushing through the thirsty fields, turning the maize tall and green, even when farmers' prayers for rain went unanswered. This windmill was more than a machine. It was a weapon to fight hunger. Ragazzi Ampefo, he whispered, I will build an electric wind. In the junkyard, pieces appeared like rusted treasures in the tall glass. A tractor fan, some pipe, and bearings and bolts that required every muscle to remove. Tonga, he'd shout at the birds and spiders, holding up his prize. But as William dragged his metals home, people called out, this boy is Misala. Only crazy people play with the trash. After many weeks, William arranged his pieces in the dirt. A broken bicycle, rusted bottle caps and plastic pipe, even a small generator that powered a headlight on a bike. For 3 days he bolted, banged and tinkered while chickens squawked and dogs barked and neighbours shook their heads saying, "What's Misala doing now?" His cousin Geoffrey and best friend Gilbert soon appeared. "Muli Bwanji," they greeted. "Can we help with the electric wind?" "Grab your pangas and follow me," he said, and took them into the forest. Together they swung their sharp blades into the trunks of blue gum trees, then hammered them together to make the tower. Standing atop, William shouted, "Bring it up!" while the boys tugged and heaved. A crowd gathered below and gazed at this strange machine that now leaned and wobbled like a clumsy giraffe. Some giggled, others teased, but William waited for the wind. Like always, it came. First a breeze, then a gusting gale. The tower swayed and the blades spun round. Wow, it looks like it's working. With sore hands once slowed by hunger and darkness, William connected wires to a small bulb which flickered at first, then surged as bright as the sun. Wow. Somebody who created light where there wasn't any. "Watch it, bueno," a man yelled. "Well done." As the doubters clapped and cheered, William knew he'd just begun. Light couldn't fill empty bellies, but another windmill could soak the dry ground, creating food where there was none. Magetsi Amunfipo. Electric winds can feed my country, William thought. And that was the strongest magic of all. So there we go. We've got a real story. We've got a true story. And that is the most interesting thing, is that it's a really good story, beautiful pictures, beautiful language, but somebody so inspiring as William that he created that windmill and he fed all those people in Malawi. That was what his community needed. You guys have been thinking about what your community needs and how you can improve Wincham and our local area. And you've done some brilliant work. It's so exciting seeing all of your lovely work going up around school. So well done. Maybe you guys could be like William one day. Take an incredible idea, and even though it's hard going, stick at it, show that resilience, and make a massive difference to your community. So William really was a true citizen because he was thinking about the other places, about the place where he lived and what he could do to help. Have a lovely day, guys. Bye-bye.